Okay, I got another piece of floor tile that I broke up. This one's a little bit darker than the first piece I used. This is the first type of tile I use. It's kind of a tannish color. This is kind of a dark gray. So let's see what I can do with this material here. It's basically the same thing. It has a hard surface on it and a softer surface on the back. Let's see. I was going to make that the tip, but I'm going to make this the tip. Yeah, pretty much the same material. Now, I was going to try to nap a second point from the tan color tile, but I ended up breaking it. So I'm just going to go ahead and nap one out of this, see how it turns out. Sorry about the wind noise. The wind just picked up a lot. I'm indoors in my shop, but the door's open. The door and the window's open, so the wind is coming through. Hope that's not too bad. And that first point that I made, I went ahead and I tried notching it and worked the tip a little bit. I ended up breaking some of the tip off, so it's a little bit shorter. But this is more like what a hunting point would look like anyway. A stronger tip and notches. But on this one here, I'm going to try to do the notches deeper and keep the same proportions, just with deeper notches, and maybe go a little thinner at the base. This one's got, the base is a little thick on this one, so I'm going to try to thin it out more. See what I can do. I'm using my 1/4 inch flaker. The 3/8 is a little bit too loose. I could put another piece of tape in here to tighten it up, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the 1/4 inch for now. I think it'll be fine. The 3/8 is a little bit better in removing the, flatter, larger flakes. I think this will be fine. After working that raw Florida chert, this stuff is a lot easier. It's still kind of brittle, but it's not as bad as the other. I'm just going to reduce this in the normal haphazard way. Try not to make too many step fractures. Measure the thickness. Let me just do that before I forget. I think this is the same thickness as the other tile. Yeah, 5/16, 8mm. Yeah. Okay. It's a good thickness. I like it for arrowheads. For larger pieces, I'm not sure how it'll work, but I'm going to make some larger atlatl points and knife forms out of this, out of the floor tile before I move on to another material. Just because I think the floor tile is so common and so easy to get that it's worthwhile, learning how to work it and seeing all the forms that can be made from it. If you guys know of a store that sells this kind of tile in a reddish color or even a yellowish or tannish color that's a little bit more colorful than these two, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm going to try to look for some of this in a reddish or terracotta color. I'm pretty sure that I've seen some floor tiles that way, or in that color, so I'll be on the lookout too. So if you're going to try knapping some of this, I recommend using or knapping a really hard material before you try some of this. It'll make it the transition a little bit easier. Because if you go the other way, if you've been knapping glass or obsidian, and then you go to this, it's going to be hard to make the adjustment. It's much easier to go the other way if if you've been working some really tough material and then coming over to this. This is, like I said, easier than that Florida chert. That almost looks like Cortex there. Of course, it's perfectly flat from the side, so you're not going to fool anybody. Getting a little too aggressive on the tip there. I've got to keep in mind that this is very brittle. It almost feels like stone, kind of like a, I don't know, a low-grade basalt or something. But it is really brittle. Create step fractures pretty easy. I'm going to narrow it down some more before I take more thinning flakes. flake scars show up pretty well on this material. I was happy about that. When I first started working this, the thing I didn't like was, you know, the slab form. It makes it really easy to snap the slab in half. But with a smaller arrowhead like this, it's not that bad. When we get into larger forms, larger knives and stuff, it'll be more difficult. Okay. I'm going to try to thin this down a lot more than the other one and put some deeper notches in. Got a little bit of room. I'm going to continue with the 1/4 inch until it gets too big. Until I feel it's too big to remove the flakes I need. The small flake, big flake technique works pretty good. I'm hitting harder as I go down, so the platforms need to be bigger or more ground toward the base. There's a thick area there, so I'm going to take a flake. Try a smaller flaker, see if I can get less step fractures. I don't know, once there's a crushed area, it's hard to nap through. Kind of want to deal with that before I go any further. I'll leave it kind of thick in the middle so it will reduce the chances of it snapping while I'm working on the tip. I want to see if I can get rid of that crushed area and the steppy area. The tip's going to be more narrow than this one. Yeah, but I do want to get rid of that little steppy area. Might be able to get it from this side. Thin the tip down more first. Yeah, that was pretty good. Probably use a probably should have used a larger flaker. I'm gonna switch back over to 1/4 inch. Alright, so it's pretty thin. I'm going to use some pressure on it to clean it up. The base is more concave than I would like, so I'm going to take some of that concavity out of it. Yeah, I'm going to flatten it. I think I still have enough width. Yeah, okay, so the blade looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to clean it up with some pressure, maybe run a few more thinning flakes so I can have less trouble doing the notches, and then that'll be it. I know some of you guys can probably run some long pressure flakes on this stuff, but I'll leave that to you guys. I'm not going to try to run any long pressure flakes. Okay, there's a little bit of a thick spot there. I think what I'll do is clean that up after I do the notches. I have a little more luck thinning it down if I kind of bounce around and not get too focused on one area. Okay, so alright, I think